welcome. And we're happy to have you tune in again to Pink Basket TV for our really cool chats with cool business folks. We're getting to know them and we're getting to know what they have to offer us. We've actually been getting wonderful feedback from people watching the channel. We had a really sweet comment earlier by a viewer from the LGBTQ2S plus community who commented on one of our social media posts that they've been watching every episode so far. That's brilliant because each business owner or operator or each business is unique. So you kind of want to watch every episode to get to know all of them. So keep watching, keep enjoying. I am your host, Antoine Elhashem, and today I have Phillip Chisholm-Deveau from SpectrumX, who actually I've known for a long, long time in many incarnations of business in the community. Let's say hello to Phillip. Phillip, welcome to the show.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Very welcome. I have mentioned on every episode, I'm going to keep mentioning, business to me is all about people. It's all about feelings. I don't like to take the feeling out of doing business. So let's get a feel of who you are as a person. What's your background? How what industry did you come from? What got you to do what you're doing, and what led you to starting SpectrumX? And I know you had a few incarnations of that business. So
yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah, when you and I first met, I was in the jewelry industry. I was a jeweler for 25 years. Through that, I've always believed that business is people, and actually that's on my website now. So from jewelry, knowing that you're in the, I'm designing jewelry for couples and marriage, you're very involved with people. I transitioned into doing bookkeeping to help because of my whole world of entrepreneurship. I always have been helping people start businesses. And so there was a little bit of a call, try to rediscover myself after I left the jewelry industry. And I started thinking, well, I have a business background. I know the ins and outs of the operations, and I've always been helping people improve their operation efficiencies, and just, it can be done better. Let's do it better.
Okay.
So I started Spectrum Bookkeeping Inc. That was my next, and help people from the operations side of the company, which was when I was more consulting.
Okay. Did you have to go study this stuff before you start, or was that just based on experience?
A bit of an experience, because when I was in the jewelry industry in New Brunswick, I also was the bookkeeper of the jewelry company that I ended up taking over. So I went back to school. I did, and I became a certified bookkeeper with George Brown in the international, with the Canadian bookkeeping association. So I'm a certified bookkeeper.
Okay.
But again, I found myself, as my employees took care of, we were one of 500 pure bookkeeping companies in Canada. I found my role, as I evolved, became more of a consulting role. So I would pop in with my clients and have meetings with them and work on them as what to look for in their business, how to better make their business more profitable. And it was more of a turning into a consulting role. And consulting works well, but I've always been a believer of being a coach, and from an educational point of view. So that led me to, part of my business plan was that I would become a certified coach. So I'm now a certified coach with ICF, and helping entrepreneurs during that growth period of figuring out what they want.
Accounting still in existence, or does that transition?
It's transitioning at the moment, yes. So I still have a couple of bookkeeping clients. They're long-standing bookkeeping clients, but I am moving more into the coaching realm.
This is actually exciting, an exciting lesson that business is very fluid. It's a
Mhm.
very live entity. There's a revolution and evolution to how you conduct business and how you transition over the years to introducing more services. Um, what makes your business unique and stand out? I would say we all are in this because we have bragging rights. Nobody says to me, "My business is awful." Everybody says my business is the best business. So what makes your business the best? And it's good to be proud of that. I really believe that you have to be able to say to me what makes you special.
I'm going to say there's two things that make me special. When I started coaching, the term holding space was very evident. Even right from my first class in coaching, the instructor said, you hold space like a pro, like you hold. And I think that's related to my prior life as a pastor. So making clients feel safe and holding that space for them. Second of all, I have a really unique way of looking at the internal workings of a business. From running my own business for many, many years and several businesses, I can look at people's finances and actually we read between the lines and ask inquiring questions about where do you want to go? This is what your current state is. Well, let's work on where you want to go and actually teach them and show them methods of measuring their success.
Okay.
You know, from an internal as well as nurturing their leadership skills.
Well, you know what? I could see you've got so much experience over the many years, and you can bring it all into helping your client, and that makes you special. Well, operating right now, and this is kind of part of this website, is a bit of challenge for a number of businesses.
Yes.
And that's what we are talking about these days. How did you adapt to deliver your services during COVID-19? How are you doing business now?
I'm doing business remotely for all my clients. So both my husband and I are working remotely. A lot of businesses were not prepared for COVID, not only financially, but on an operations side. So being able to connect with them remotely and help them through the stress of change and stepping into innovation was a big step for us. Like, how can you do business differently? Let's explore. Let's be curious and just like drop the boxes that we've put ourselves in. This is what my business is. And let's look at it from a new lens.
Beautiful. You know what, honestly, while it's devastating what's happening, to me, there's an element of exciting as a business observer and a media observer of how quick we were as a species, as humans, to reinvent ourselves very quickly and look at our businesses. So it's exciting me to see how the future may end up looking like, because we now know that something could happen all of a sudden. I think business is going to build themselves to be a lot more secure into the future to deal with anything like this happens. We've learned our lessons. Maybe we were just going through business and life thinking it'll always be safe. I'll always be able to meet my clients. Now we know you can't always meet your clients. Maybe that's not the case forever. So cool.
That's what I love about entrepreneurship, is that we live in that unknown world, right?
Well, COVID will not, keep saying, well, it might be something else, but COVID will not be always the topic. In general, over the years, what lessons have you learned as you went along with business that changed how you serve and cater to your clients?
That's a very good question. I think people.
Okay.
Really building a team, doing it alone is hard. Building a good team, and I do team coaching as well.
Okay.
That really is people is business, not only your clients, but as you evolve into leadership, you're also catering to your team. and nurturing a whole team. So it's that whole build your tribe, you know, find those people that fit those roles that you need and have that support system.
That's actually, this is a great segue into my next question, which is, who is your dream client?
Oh, my dream client. It took a long time for me to figure that out. I will honestly be honest with you, because when you're trained as a coach, you're trained to coach anybody, but it's always good to have a niche.
See, actually, when I went through the self-employment program through the government of Ontario to begin the business, to start the business, one of the questions was to kind of have an exercise of what's your vision of who's your clients. They're you know, caring, they are interested in great service, they are looking for this. We kind of have to write down those things.
Yeah. So my ideal client is an entrepreneur who started his company or his or her company, their company, and they've grown it to the point that they're hiring people.
Okay.
Because during that period of once you get your first employee, your second employee, your third employee, your role changes. You're no longer doing what you do. You're either a graphic designer and you're taking care of your clients. Your role grows.
Yep.
You're now HR. You're now taking care of some IT, and you're building a team. So it's those types of, so any entrepreneur who is now growing and hiring people and trying to find their role, their new definition of a role.
And that's very accurate. That's the time I think a lot of business owners are challenged.
Yeah.
There's always that line where I'm operating by myself and all fine, and when is the right time for me to start growing and getting more people on board and serving my clients more? Fantastic. What inspires you in business, Philip?
Oh, people, the entrepreneurs.
You keep repeating the word, and I really, really love the word. People are awesome.
They are. When
I'm glad you recognize that. What inspires you in life? And if you say people again, I'm hanging up.
Creativity in
Okay.
life. From being a jeweler, I like being creative. I like, and entrepreneur to me is being creative, right? You're taking something.
You are very creative.
Something. So it's
you're
that combination.
creative with your outfits. You're creative with Cool. How about you and your husband? How are you spending your private time during COVID-19?
We just moved to Stratford, so we are building custom drawers. We're finessing our home, so we're having a lot of fun. We still have our place in Toronto, so when we came here, it was like a blank canvas. It's something that we could just create together with.
And you're staying safe and in seclusion and all that?
We are. I'm making some masks for my family I sew, as you know, with my Halloween costumes. So I have family back east, and I'm sewing up some masks for my family.
Very kind. Let's do the contact stuff. How does one find SpectrumX if you need to get the help from Philip on your business?
You can go to SpectrumX.ca is my website. You can find me on LinkedIn under Phillip Chisholm-Deveau, and Facebook, of course, under SpectrumX.
Beautiful. You're all set up on all the platforms.
I am.
you kind of have to these days, right?
It's part of the world.
The world. Oh my God, what we've seen, us the what do you call it? I don't want to call us the older. We're not old. But the people who were operating in the 90s and 2000 and the changes that we saw very quickly that we have to adapt to. So very exciting.
It is.
Let's close with a recommendation. We all can use some warm and fuzzies these days. So I've asked every interviewee to recommend to the viewers and community and other business fellas a book, a film, a show, a song, an activity, being Pilates, meditate, whatever. Anything that you advise or has been helping you. You can't advise, but you can just talk from experience.
It's fun that you ask about a book, because I'm about to go on a call next week about recommending a book. And I'm going to say Great CEOs, How They Are Made. It's a book. I just reordered it because I had a web version. It is full of tools and great advice. And when I started developing a team, walking the four corners of your company and speaking to everyone, including the janitor, including the secretary, everybody. And it's going back to that whole people aspect.
Beautiful. I'll check it out. Yeah. And with that, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All the best with SpectrumX and your move, and keep up the good work.
Thank you, Antoine.
All right. Have a great day. Bye.
Take care.